Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie and this is our next prompt, if you will, in thinking about what we're going to do next year in 2021 with our craft room. And last week, if you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it above. And basically last week was just to get us started thinking about where we're at, some general feelings about the state of our craft room, just to kind of get the ball rolling. And today, this week's prompt is to actually sit down and write all the different crafting areas or crafting themes or crafts that we're involved in. And it's important to understand that because sometimes we forget about stuff that we have, or we used to do a craft and we're no longer interested in it and we've forgotten that we still have supplies for that. Or the other thing is to just think about what crafts are the most prevalent for you today, and so that when you set up your craft room, those items are more readily available. And something that today it maybe is not high on your list of things to tackle, we can tuck away in a less convenient spot, right? So we're not actually going to talk about how to set up your craft room or anything like that. It's just more documenting what crafts are we involved in. So I actually divided my crafting into 3 areas. I called it paper crafting, and then sewing and needlework, and then other crafts. And you will see, based on the groupings, which one is most prevalent. So yes, definitely paper crafting is my jam. And then I have a section for sewing and needlework, and I combine these two together because to me, I don't do enough of either to be its own category. That could be very different for you. You may do tons of quilting and you may do different types of quilts. You may keep different supplies and stuff for the different types of quilts. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as a possible option. And then I also do other things every now and then, and I'm just calling that other crafts / hobbies. So under paper crafting, I put scrapbooking, card making. Those are my 2 most prevalent go-to crafts that I do on an ongoing basis. I also threw into art journaling. I got into that in the last year. It's been a lot of fun. And I also got into Bible journaling. The 2 are similar, but in my mind, I keep them separate. So that's why I've listed both of them there. And I've also put down sketching and painting, and while I do paint to make cards, etc., I have also dabbled in actually making, you know, paintings that you could frame and sketching and stuff like that. I don't do that very often, and in fact I have to feel very inspired to do so. It's something in the back of my mind that I would like to improve upon, and so I've listed it here as possibly something that I want to expand on in the next year. I've also put down quilling. So I have purchased a bunch of supplies to do quilling. So I've bought some different tools and stuff like that. I actually haven't done it yet. So that's why that's also on here. I have purchased these supplies and I think it's really cool and it's a lot of fun, but I haven't done it. For sewing and needlework, I put quilting. So I do some quilting. I used to do it more and much more complex than what I do now. I just do typically rag quilts now for my nephews and nieces, and I'm happy with that. That fills my sewing urge every now and then. That doesn't mean I couldn't expand or change in the future. Again, this is just where I'm at right now. I also have cross stitch and embroidery, and I've listed them separately because to me they are very different styles. While cross stitch can fall under the realm of embroidery. When I say embroidery, I'm talking more the type where you use a number of different types of stitches as opposed to just a cross stitch. So I've listed those separate. I have a couple cross stitch projects in my stash, which is why I've listed them. And I really enjoy embroidery. I haven't done it in a long time, and I have some books and stuff like that for it. So I have listed that on there again as something that maybe I want to pull out in 2021 and just work on it a little bit more. Or the other thing I've been thinking about is incorporating embroidery into my paper crafting. So I have added sewing into my paper crafting in this last year, but now I'm really intrigued with the idea of adding embroidery. So those kind of go hand in hand. I've also thrown down crochet on here. Currently, I don't think I own any yarn. I do have some crochet hooks and stuff. I have done some in the past. I'm not an expert. I know very basic crocheting. I could crochet a blanket and that's about it. No, that's something else I would be interested in resurrecting. Definitely would have to be a winter thing here because there's no way I'm crocheting in the middle of a California summer. Under other crafts and hobbies, I threw videos in. So doing YouTube has become a hobby, and I have, you know, lights and filming equipment and stuff like that. And that also lives here in this room. And I also threw in home decor. So every now and then I do some home decor projects. I don't do a ton. Mostly it focuses around seasonal decor like Christmas. For the most part, the rest of my apartment is decorated sufficiently. But, you know, it is fun to do something a little bit different every now and then. So your task for this week, or your mission for this week, if you choose to accept it, is to take a look at your craft room and list out all the different areas of crafting that you do or that you have done in the past that perhaps you want to resurrect. If you are joining me on this journey, I would love to hear your thoughts on the process so far. Are you excited about what 2021 is going to bring you, and what crafting areas are you focused on? If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to be notified when my next video is going to be posted, and we will tackle another topic next week. Thanks again everyone for joining me, and until next time, happy crafting and happy organizing.